The massive house that you see today is in the shape of the Italian villa style, which was completed by Mr. Hopkins in 1852. So during the remainder of his lifetime, from 1852 for the next 20 years that he lived, he enjoyed his estate home, his country home outside of Baltimore in this beautiful sprawling villa. This tower that you see on the left side of it, well, that was part of the Italian Renaissance style that was interpreted by the English and the Americans of great means. It also was great fun for people to climb the tower and look down over the countryside and the port of Baltimore. He was part of the Union sentiment and part of the anti-slavery movement in Baltimore.
Why don't we go inside and take a look at the interior of this building? Let's walk over this way.
Already?
Okay. So one of the things that I always... So what are we looking at here in this room?
Well, in this case, we have this very large-scale stair structure with the banisters and railings being done out of black walnut. And on the interior, multicolors were everywhere on the first floor. In contrast to the exterior, which was one color, monochrome, when you got inside, you were in Kodachromeville, baby. Not only did you have the ceilings and walls highly decorated with color, the colored light coming in the glass, here on the wall was an image of the Bay of Naples.
I note that you're doing a lot of renovation here. So let's go take a look at some of the renovation that's going on and some of the restoration that you made. Let's go on up the stairs. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this gentleman on the wall? Come on, let's take a look.
Well, this is Mr. Henry Thompson, the first master of Clifton. I mentioned to you he built a stone mansion here in 1803. So Henry settled here, though he was born in England. He threw all of his money and intelligence behind America.
John, I note that you have found a number of artifacts in this building, specifically from Thompson's time. Tell us what we're looking at here.
Well, here we have some items that we found because of our archaeologist was at work, and she found certain items under the basement floor. And this colored glass and this metal stopper indicates some of those early finds, probably dating back to Thompson. Now, in both the Hopkins and the Thompson construction, you have the ubiquitous use of horsehair-bound plaster. So you can see these pieces of plaster here. If you look closely, you can see little white fragments of oyster shell, and you see the horse's hair that was stirred into the wet plaster to bind the grains of the sand and the oyster shell together. These represent ways that carpenters would hold a building together. The framing of the building, the bones of the building, if you will, were often held together by mortise and tenon components.
Let's talk about this portrait that's here. Who is this?
All right, this is the young Mr. Johns Hopkins. Mr. Hopkins became quite a rich merchant while he was still in his 20s and 30s, and he had a number of portraits done, as people did, and this was him in his young, successful days.
Thank you so very much for sharing all you know about the Clifton Mansion. Now, let's go back to you in the studio.